Today I'm going to talk about recovery from schizophrenia and share some of the things that have been helpful in my recovery, and hopefully maybe you can use some of the tips in your recovery. When you think about recovery of schizophrenia, you have to think about the rule of thirds. It says that 1/3 of people who recover from schizophrenia are med compliant, respond well to medication, have few symptoms, and are able to work and maybe have a family. 1/3 of people with schizophrenia are also med compliant, but still have some symptoms and require some hospitalizations, and but are usually able to work and maybe have a family. And then there's 1/3 of people with schizophrenia who do poorly, don't respond well to medications, or don't even usually take medications. And I'm lucky enough to be med compliant, and I have my side effects, but medication works well for me. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in February of 2008. At the time, I was given what was a 2-paragraph printout from a website telling me what schizophrenia was. I remember thinking, what are hallucinations? And I had very poor insight, which is typical of most people with schizophrenia. I had nothing to lose, so I stayed on medication for about a month and a half. And over a 2-week period, the delusion started to peel away from me almost every day. And I remember thinking things like, my mom can't see my thoughts. That's impossible. The next thing I did was get involved in NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illness, by joining a support group where I learned more about my illness and also other illnesses. I think having schizophrenia made me sensitive to other people with illnesses and what other illnesses were and how they affected people. Plus I have a degree in psychology, so I was always interested in mental health. Over that summer, I applied to go back to school, and I was accepted and attended the next fall. For the next year and a half, since the medication was working well, I made a plan for the rest of my life, and I started studying substance abuse counseling. In the meantime, I started volunteering at a nonprofit that provided substance abuse education courses. I found the job through the United Way website for my particular state. At the time, I was thinking about relapsing on drugs, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. Let me do something more positive. And so I started volunteering. And volunteering was probably the most helpful thing in my recovery. By volunteering, I proved to myself that I could work again. It was an inspiring job, and it made me feel good that I was helping out, and I felt proud of myself for volunteering. That lasted about 9 months for me. One other thing I did in my recovery within the first year was join a Clubhouse. This was not so much helpful for me as it is for a lot of people. But at a Clubhouse, you can lean on people for support and find employment opportunities and housing opportunities. And my Clubhouse has a pool table, and they serve meals, which cost $2 each meal. You can find out about which clubhouses are in your area through your local mental health center. The next step in my recovery was establishing a social network. Schizophrenia made me isolated. I didn't see anybody. I didn't have any friends or anything while I was undiagnosed. I looked up old friends' numbers and I eventually joined Facebook, where I got in touch with my old buddies. Most of them didn't want to be friends with me anymore, and the one or two who did, I networked with and met other new friends. Making friends is a lifelong process that you have to work on all the time. Today I'm constantly working on my career. I'm a member of the local NAMI affiliate, and for now I have a job in the hotel industry. And I'm just starting to look at jobs beyond my experience and more toward jobs based on my volunteer work and education. I hope you use some of the tips for recovery that were helpful for me. And I hope that you can follow some of the links that I left in the description and become more active in your community, because that's probably what helped me the most. Thanks. Bye.